Hello and welcome along to the latest instalment of my camper conversion YouTube channel. In this video I'm going to be replacing a rear bumper on the Ford Connect that I've pretty much just about finished converting into a little micro camper van. I'm about to send all the paperwork off to get this registered, but in the meantime, just to tidy up the exterior, I've got a little bit of rust to take care of on the sills. That's just surface rust. But the back bumper, as you can see there, it's rusted through in a couple of places. It's about to break through in others. And for the sake of, I think it's around about 45-50 quid, you can get the full replacement metal bumper, a plastic step and the both quarters as well. If you just want the metal bumper itself and your trims are all good, it's around about 30 quid. I've opted for the full lot, so I've got the full replacement bumper there. It's still not even primed or anything, but the van's going to be going in for paint anyway, so that's not a problem. Got new end caps, new step cover as well. And I think, looking online, it's just a case of unclipping the old covers off, and then it's just going to be 2 bolts behind here, but I don't know what access is going to be like. I haven't even been underneath to have a look yet. I've literally just taken everything out of the packaging, and I thought I'd do a quick video just to show how easy or difficult it might be. It looks easy enough, so we'll see. So I'll get some tools out, get some mats out so I can get the line on the floor without getting too dirty, and we'll see how easy it is just to replace the rear bumper. Now, if you're going to be keeping your old plastic trim, you do need to be careful about how you take it off the bumper. If you take it off too aggressively, you might snap clips that are holding them on. So because I've got replacements, I'm just going to rip these straight off, but they should just pretty much pull off just like that. Now is obviously a good time to get rid of any crap that's going to be built up around the bumper and that as well, but as I'll get the other covers off, they should just push off either side as well, I think. And that one's been screwed on there. That's an obviously aftermarket screw. They don't actually screw in place officially, so I'll take that off. It doesn't look as though there's any screws on that one. That's just going to be the clip, so we'll have a look at the clip on that, get that unscrewed, and then we're down to the bumper. That quick and easy so far. When you round it off, rip it off. So as you can see, that's the new bumper that's waiting ready to go on. It's only secured on by these 2 bolts, but getting them off the van itself is proving trickier than I thought. I'll go out and I'll show you in a minute. But in theory, it's just a case of getting into these from the underside of the van, unscrewing the 2 bolts and then just pulling the old bumper off, and then just putting this on and reversing the procedure. I'm having a bit of trouble because it looks as though some of the nuts have rusted away, and I've even bought some long sockets. So on my bumper here, I've actually went out and bought some extra long deep sockets, but unfortunately it doesn't look as though they're actually getting a grip on any of the nuts underneath. I'll try and show you the hole. It's probably a bit dark there. Try and get some torch going. Well, it's just this hole here. Inside there's the nut, and it's just a case of trying to get a grip on it, but it's just turning and turning. I've been all the way up and down through all of the sizes on the socket set, and none of them are actually getting a grip on the nut, so it looks as though I'm going to actually have to do this the hard way around, grind off the brackets or cut through them and then try and get the brackets out that way. But that is how you should be able to do it. It's just a case of undoing that nut there, and pretty much the same on the other side. There should be one roundabout there as well. So you just undo those 2 nuts, and then it should just be a case of pulling the bumper away. If your nuts are in good order, that's all you need to do. So it's worth giving it a try first, but as I say, unfortunately it looks as though I'm going to have to do it the hard way around and cut the whole thing off. So we'll have a look and see how we get on with that. So after a lot of grinding, a lot of hammering away, that's now one side of the bumper off the bracket, and I've still then got the bracket to take off as well, and then get the bolt out as well. I'm sure there's probably an easier way to even do this when you can't get to the nuts, but I'm just doing what I can do with the tools that I've got. And as I say, as long as at the end of the day I manage to get the bumper off and the bolt out, that's all that matters, because then that means I can then get the new bumper on and get it looking a hell of a lot nicer, neater and trimmer. Now to get it off, there's a couple of brackets. Thankfully one of mine on here had actually rusted through, so it just needed a little bit of whacking, and that bottom one came off. And at the top you've got two that support the top bar, so I've just been grinding straight through the bumper, through the bracket itself, just to actually then free it up. So now that's one side done, rinse and repeat and get the other side done. So again, thanks to a rusty bracket, I've just been able to pretty much manhandle the bumper down into a position where I can now just grind that bracket straight off, and this side I haven't now had to cut into the metal of the actual bumper itself, so that sped things up just that little bit. So obviously when one side's off, you can start wiggling the bumper around, just folding it around. As I say, again, the bottom of the bracket, that's just rusted off again. So as I say, it's definitely in time for a replacement anyway, so now it's in a more accessible position. I'll be able to just get the grinder in, get that bracket cut, and that'll be finally the bumper off, and then I've then got to just grind off the brackets and get the bolts out. One rusty rear bumper finally off. As you can see, it's definitely time for a new one. Pulls both sides. So now it's just a case of getting these brackets off. Again, it's just going to be a case of grinding in between just to grind through the bolt, then hammering the bolt back through. That's on both sides. And then that's just a case of then, thankfully, fitting the new one should be a hell of a lot more straightforward. So I didn't bother filming that side, it was just a rinse and repeat of the first side, just grinding straight through the nut, sorry, the bolt, and that's the old bracket, and as you can see, well past it. So definitely time for the new bumper. Because I've exposed just a tiny bit of bare metal work where I've ground off both of the bolts, I'm just going to give that just a quick coat over with some primer as well, just to be sure. I don't want any of this re-rusting or anything. And then it'll be time to get the bumper on, and then the van will be almost ready for paint. Right, so after a lot of fiddling about, the passenger side seems a little more fiddly, or so far for me anyway. I just tried the driver's side, that went straight on just with a standard 17mm, just on an extension bar. Just hand tight at the moment, just so it can still be manoeuvred into a final place. So now I'm going to try struggle on, get the passenger side bolted back in. It's getting there. Oh, finally, so there's the passenger side loosely bolted in as well. So it just needs a final bolt from underneath with the proper spanner on, obviously, or socket set. It was a hell of a lot more awkward to get that one on than the driver's side. So that one just went straight on that one. But it's on, so now we'll get the final finishing touches reassembled, and that'll be the bumper done. So now the bumper's finally now bolted in place and going absolutely nowhere. Now it's just a case of applying the new trims, and these do just clip straight into place. There's no screws required or anything. So I'd say that one just lines up there and just pushes on into place. So once you've got the top trim on, it's just a case of then clipping on the rear corner quarters, and it's job done. On these you need to put these side clips in first, and then those little prongs just go straight into the side holes. So those two line up with those two little gaps there, and that one slides just behind the lip there, and then the rest just clip in. So I'll get this one attached, show how it goes on, get the other one on, that's the bumper done. So there we go, that is all of the trim just loosely clipped on. As it all has to come back off when it's going in for paint anyways, but I've got it all lined up and loosely clipped in place just to show it exactly how it should be. that's how I've replaced the bumper on this little Ford Connect. So it was a real pain to get the old one off, just because the nuts had rusted up that badly. I could barely get a socket set on, so it had to be cut off. If you can get the socket set on, it should be a hell of a lot quicker, a hell of a lot easier than the rigmarole that I've just had to go through to get the old one off. The new one, it's taken about half hour to get it all back on, lined up square, all of the trim lined up, all that fitted as well. So if you're lucky, if the nuts on the old bolt are okay, then you can probably get this done in maybe an hour, maybe less. If it's fully rusted, it's obviously going to take a little bit longer, like it has done with my old one here. But that's how I've fully replaced the rear bumper on this little Ford Connect that I'm turning from a daft little panel van into a tiny little micro camper van. So I hope you found this video useful. If you did, do please give it the old thumbs up. Have a look at my channel. I've got loads of videos on there documenting everything from a VW T4, this Ford Connect, I've got a T5 there, I've got another Hijet there. There's loads of videos on my channel, so hit the subscribe button, have a look on there for loads more videos, give this video a good old thumbs up, and hopefully I'll see you on the next video on my channel. Thanks for watching. Cheers.